You teaching your wife how to shoot?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yep. That way we know who did it.
Did you like it?
I love it.
That's your first time?
No.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've been out before.
Oh, you shot? You like it, Z?
Yeah.
Is that your first time shooting?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you shoot too? Why not? Did you want to? No? No, I'm glad. Well, that's good. Amazing. Are we ready?
We're ready about 30 seconds.
So we're going to start on time and we're going to end on time today. We're going to be totally white all the way. Totally white. I'm going to do it, watch this, I'm going to do it today. I know what to do to just end it on time. You have your hand up? Oh, you want to say something? Oh. This is the first.
About 30 seconds.
How was your week? Uh-huh. Did you get angry? I can't hear you. Nice.
You're live, Jesse.
We're live. Good morning. Welcome to Fellowship. I'm Jesse Peterson. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and Hake will let me know your question or comment. He'll pass them on to me, all right? Happy New Year again. This is the last time I'm saying it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How y'all? Did I give it an assignment for this week? No? I did? What did I say? Did you say yes, Raymond? Oh, I thought I heard you say yes. What?
I know you gave. I know you gave a assignment. Yes, last week. I'm just trying to remember it.
Yeah, I forgot to. Did I, Nick?
No.
Nobody remember? Okay, so that meant no one did it. Had I given one. I can't even remember. I got a call this week on my radio show from a guy who said that he was a transgender, and he said that his mother was a lesbian, and she got with a woman, and they raised the boys, the 3 boys, and it was a miserable life for him growing up like that. And I think he said that his older brother was one too. And he talked about how cruel the 2 women were raising them, and it was really hard on him. And he talked about how he was taking the medication stuff to change whatever, make you feel like a woman, I guess. And but he was unhappy about it. Well, he was unhappy, period. I don't remember the whole story, so I won't say it exactly how he said it. And then he said that he heard my show, and he heard that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, because he was so unhappy that at one point he was about to commit suicide. He was going to do it, but he heard that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And so that caused him to realize that the thought of killing yourself was a lie, that it wasn't from him, right? So he didn't do it. And as a result, he's been listening to the show and remembering things. And he changed his mind about the transgender thing. So he stopped taking the medication. He stopped doing all that crap. And he said that he's grateful that he didn't do the body part, cut off the body part, all that kind of crap. And it was an amazing call, because it's the same spirit that every human being is dealing with. Every human being is dealing with evil spirit. We are all possessed with evil spirits, and one evil spirit is as bad as the other one. You may be doing something else, but it's as bad as a transgender. It's as bad as whatever it may be, because it's all evil. When you get angry, you're as bad as a transgender. And as I said before, you're two hoops of a holler away from becoming Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't think human beings, except for those who have started to pay attention and to overcome this stuff, you don't know that you're possessed. You don't know how bad it is until you really get serious about overcoming it. And once you get serious about overcoming it, it becomes, you can't have greater fun than working on yourself. The best part, it doesn't do anything about it. It is fun working on yourself, because you start to see, you understand, everything, all your troubles disappear. And it's weird, because when you see this, you will see that in reality you have no troubles. You have zero problems. Problems are an illusion that the devil put in your mind and make you think is you. I was talking to Haight this morning in the office there, and he was saying it's amazing how people get mad at one another because what they think. They think a certain thing and they can get mad at you about it. And it's crazy, but we're possessed. The body is possessed, and we're not living our natural, free life. We should be living a life with no problem, no issue, no nothing at all. It's been made for us to be that way. It's possible. But most people will not examine themselves. I was thinking about the thoughts, the imagination, and I listen to other people, and I watch what thoughts do when they come to me. Thoughts are all about self. All they ever do is repeat themselves. Even when they make you think about the past, it's something about self. Even if they make you think about the future, it's about self. Even when you're going to help the sick, or you're helping your parents or somebody, it's all about self. It's never, ever, ever about the other person. Even with your children, until you wake up, it's all about self. You're yelling at your children because they have made you feel something. You want your children to look right in the road, out in the street, because you want to look right. The thoughts are evil, and if you could just rise above the thoughts, everything will be done. When Christ said it's finished, it is finished. But you got to rise above the thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything at any time. It's impossible for a thought to be true. Isn't that amazing? And yeah, human beings have so much faith in thoughts. And they repeat what the thoughts say about them. I'm a drunk. And I feel guilty about being a drunk. The thought lied to you. You're not a drunk. I wish, because words are so difficult, I wish they had never put anything to cover up evil. So you will grow up always knowing you're dealing with evil spirits. It's not you at all. But stay with it, working on yourself, work on yourself, work on yourself. I don't care what happens. You stay with yourself, and you'll see. You will be free. Once you become free of the mind, the rest will follow. It's in the mind, it's not true. Satan dwells in the mind. I was thinking of our government this week. Our government is totally about self now. It's no longer we the people. It's the government. Listen to how they argue with one another when they have their little meetings. It's all about the individual. And then they trying to yell at each other, curse each other out, scream now because they want the camera on them. They want the camera on them. There was this woman by the name of something Mace.
Nancy Mace.
Nancy Mace. She was yelling at Joe Biden's boy. Yeah, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden went before them, and he and his lawyers were sitting there, and the government yelling at them. They didn't even care, they were laughing. And then when it was time for Nancy Mace to ask her a question, Joe Biden boys got up and walked out. They wouldn't even listen to her. And she's like, come back, come back. You just don't want to talk to me because I'm a woman? I was like, how would you say something at a job, a professional job like that? How did the government say you just don't want to talk to women are not allowed to talk or something dumb like that? And then when he was sitting there looking at her, he wasn't responding. She's like, you just want white privilege. I was like, this woman bucking for the TV camera to come on her. That's all it was about. It was about Nancy Mace. And our government has become that way now. It's just like we the people. Ego people and everyone who has anger is, on an ego trip, is always all about self. Next time you make a phone call to someone, how you feel about thinking about making that call? You either feel good about thinking about making it, and then you'll call the person up and pretend that you really care about them. You can care less about them. If they disagree with you during that phone call, you have hell to pay. But you felt good about calling them. The ego is not us. It is the thing that made a home in us. Christ came and he freed us from it. It's just that you don't know who you are yet. Once you discover who you really are, you're going to fly. You're going to live in this world and have no pain. You're going to live in this world thought-free. It's going to be amazing. Isn't it amazing? Jesse, your hand, yo?
I was just going to add to what you said about how we're all free.
Right.
But the very simple thing that I realized is that we're free, but we just won't endure to realize that we're free. Meaning, like, as soon as like some type of thrill comes, we were in the present, we were in the moment, and we're free, but the thrill just takes us right off track. But if we just endure it, then that's why people don't endure, is because, or they lose that freedom, is because they just go right back into the thrill.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as enduring.
I want you to, from this point forward, suffer consciously. When those thoughts come up and the feelings are there, don't try to get rid of it real fast. Be aware of it and stay with it. Don't go unconscious about the pain and the thoughts and the pain that you're having. Stay with it, stay with it. Don't make a phone call in that minute. Don't do anything but just watch it. Like these are thoughts, right? And the feelings are all in here too. And they'll come, sometimes they'll shock you and surprise you, and they'll pop up out of nowhere. And you'll see it, when you feel it, you'll see it or you'll see it. Stay with it. Just stay there and look at it. Just look at it. And you're gonna be feeling all scared and like, Lord have mercy when this is over. But look at it anyway. Just push back. Push back at the thoughts. Don't give in to them anymore. Just push back. Even the ones that make you feel good, or the ones that push back, because the feel good is a setup as well. We are free already, you just don't know it. And the world will help you stay in hell. Your friends, your family, your co-workers, your job, your boss, whomever, they will help keep you in hell because that's where they are. And the hell in them hate the light in you. And they'll do everything they can to bring you back into their hell. Each and every one of you and us and me and everyone can walk out of this room right now. You could be free right now and never be enslaved again. You could literally walk out of this room a new person. You really can. All you have to do is just relax and watch. And when those thoughts come, all you have to do is know that it's a thought and come back to your present. Be aware of what's around you. Every time they come, just be aware of what's around you. And you're free. In being free, there's nothing to think about, nothing to do. All you have to do is do that, and you'll be free forever and a day. No matter what the situation has happened, you're free from it. That was then, this is now. All you have is now. All you have is a new. There's no such thing as an old. All you have is a new right now. Isn't that amazing? So you can literally take a breath, catching my breath. No. Take a breath and relax and let it go. That's all you have to do. You don't have to hold on to it. You could be free. And eventually, the devil will be taken away from your mind, and you will have a complete new mind. And a complete new mind doesn't think of the past or the future at all, because it knows that there is no past or future. It knows that you're one. You're not a past and you're not a future. You're one. You're a whole person right here, right now. So you can be free right now if you wanted to. It's up to you. Just let your thoughts go. It's just a thought. That's all it is, unless you make a big deal of it. It's just, you can always tell when someone living their thought, they're always complaining. Because they're hooked on to the past or the future. The transgender guy, he could be free right now because it was never him. It's just that he's in his 40s too, and he still lives with his mama because he lived with the one he hates. But he could be free, and it sounds like he is working on it. But that same spirit, it's the same spirit that allows mothers to leave their children and go to work and pretend they're a man. They're jealous of the man, so they're sacrificed. It's the same transgender spirit. There's no love in it. It's all about self. Any questions about that or disagreements? Yes, sir.
You say that this man was enslaved by thoughts of anger.
Yes.
Yes.
The devil come in all kinds of spirits. Once you have anger, all kinds of spirit work through you. Go ahead.
So in order to free ourselves from anger, we must be aware that we have it in the first place.
That's an interesting question. The way you free yourself from it is to give up. Stop the fight. Just give up. Don't fight with the devil anymore and just watch him. Give up. If you give up right now and never fight with that again, you'll be free. Stop fighting. You can't do anything about it because it's not you. Give up. Give up. Isn't that amazing? Stop fighting. So I want to do, any questions? All right. I want to do something I haven't done in a minute. We did it before. Do you mind coming up here?
I will.
Your mama gonna see you on TV though. She did. She did. So you don't mind coming up here?
I will, yeah.
Okay, come. Let him have a hand mic for a minute. You trying to walk all tough. You know you're scared. Reply to what I just talked about.
So I would like, well, I am nervous,
You nervous?
a little bit.
Why?
I wasn't expecting this.
I know. And what did it feel like to be nervous?
Heart is racing a little bit.
It is?
Yeah.
And what's making you nervous?
Just being exposed to the camera, to the people out there.
So you're afraid of the camera? Don't say anything, camera. What's making you nervous is the thoughts that bring on the feeling. And that's the devil. even when you're nervous, you listen to thoughts and you bring on these feelings, you're worshiping the devil. Isn't that amazing? That's the same as Jeffrey Dahmer. That's the same as Hitler. That's the same as a mother who would not raise the man's children, be a wife and a mother to the children. It's the same spirit. It's the same spirit that blame others for your problems. That spirit of making you feel afraid. It's a thought and it's a feeling. If you let the thought go, he'll be up here totally comfortable. Wouldn't feel or think anything. Wouldn't even be thinking about it at all. He would have walked up here with no thoughts. Can you imagine living that way? He would have walked in totally confident. So that's the devil in you.
Absolutely.
In the mind and the body.
Yes.
But anyway, respond to the opening.
So you were speaking about the transgender person, and they're kind of still stuck in the past, believing their thoughts, angry about how they were treated by the mother or whatever. So, but the person is able to be free if they would just let the thoughts pass. Don't actually like give into the thoughts and live with the thoughts or whatever. So
If he forgave and went away from the thought, the whole transgender thing would be over, just like that. You just have to stop the medication, whatever they're doing. Absolutely. Did that make sense to you? Did it help in any way, or are you? You understand it's the same spirit in everyone?
absolutely, absolutely, I can see the same spirit within myself and others. So
Nice.
absolutely.
What is it like seeing evil in yourself and others now?
That's when your message of forgiveness comes in, to where I have to see it within myself and forgive it within myself, and I forgive that stuff within other people as well.
That's amazing too, because once you clearly see what's going on inside of you, when you truly see it, it's going to be impossible to judge your fellow man. Jesus didn't judge because he understood the spirit that was driving his mind and others. And he took it on for us and destroyed the power of the devil. He has no power. You would never, ever, if you ever judge again, it's because you're still in hell. You don't see. Jesus would not have been able to help had he judged. But he understood it was the spirit, it was Satan. And that's why God never judged. In your life, no matter how long you've been on this earth, you have never been judged by God. Zero. You are not a sinner. It's the devil making you feel fear coming up here. It's not you, it's not God, it's that spirit in you. But once you get a clear mind, you can go anywhere. Isn't that amazing? Okay.
I have to tell my daughters I'm on TV now, or YouTube.
Say hi to daughters.
Hey, everybody.
How many daughters you have?
3.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing. So your life getting better?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did get caught up yesterday, actually, Jesse, with talking to a family member. I'm so excited. I try to spread the message to others, and I don't try to force it on them. They come to me with problems and stuff.
Right.
And I got a little too enthusiastic about it, so and I found that my voice was raising. They would say something, I can hear the anger in their voice, and they would say something to me, and my voice would raise. And then the person ended up hanging up on me. And I had to sit back, and the same kind of feeling almost right now with me being nervous. My heart was racing a little bit, but I just sat there and I was breathing, I was trying to relax, and it eventually just went away.
When that happens, I want to encourage you. Let's say you're in a conversation with someone and it looks like it's going to get heated, and you see that, oh, I got to say something about that anger too. You see that feeling come up. Catch it right then and stop. All you have to do is catch it. Do nothing else about it, and the Spirit of the Father will get rid of it. You just have to see it, because it's not you getting angry at all. It's not you at all. It's this thing that's rising up, and it's because you're in your thoughts, you're trying to make someone accept something. Don't try to make people accept the truth. Either they want it. The Bible says something like, don't throw your pearls before swine, pigs. Just eat the pig. No, don't put this truth on anyone that doesn't want it. What are you saying? Oh, you need to move over. Now your daughter can see you. If they don't want the truth, don't force it. It's like throwing the truth to pigs. You're not supposed to impose on anyone with truth, period. Don't get mad at them about it. Don't try to make them accept it. Either they want it or they don't. So, what you realize from that now?
I just try to stay aware. I watch myself, and whatever feeling is trying to rise through me, I'm always keeping an eye on myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm always aware that everyone else is going through that same thing. So I have to,
Every human being.
you know, I don't take offense to it, or I don't take it personally at all.
Right on. So you still nervous?
It's going down a little bit, but still a little there.
Amazing. That's because the thought is vanishing that you're on stage and speaking. Amazing. All right, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Amazing. Can you come up and tell me what you got from the opening conversation? Come on. Why? Oh, because it's too tall for that, huh?
We can see their face.
Huh?
So we can see their face.
Did y'all see his face?
Just cut off a little bit.
It will cut off. Come and sit so your daughter can see you. And then you go away. He has 3 daughters. They got to see daddy.
They should be seeing him now.
They can see him now? I do want to ask you, Raymond said something about anger. What did you say about anger, Raymond? And then I want you to come up.
I said that the only way we can fight anger is be aware of it and do nothing.
Okay. What do you think about that? You have a mic. Let's say you were walking down the road and you ran into Raymond, and because he's black, you weren't afraid. And so, and so you didn't cross on the other side of the street. You're like, Lord, don't let this black man get me. And so you walk down the street, and he asked you that question. What would you say?
I would agree. Just in a sense of doing nothing is just being aware, being conscious of what's going on. So I would say, yeah, do nothing in a sense of just being aware of what's going on, what's trying to rise in you.
And to add to that, from this day forward, never, ever, ever, ever call anger you. Never say, I am angry. You are not angry. That's the spirit of evil that took over the mind and emotion. And when you stop saying that it's you, you're going to stop identifying with it, and it'll disappear. It'll be, the light will take it away from you. Isn't that amazing? It's so deep. But anyway, y'all look like y'all like it that much. Let me ask, before I bring her up, the biblical question for this week. Anybody know what the biblical question is this week? Only 2 people. 3. Can I get 4? 4. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, 7. 8. Do you have confidence?
I do not have confidence.
And why do you say you don't?
Because if you have confidence, then you have, what you have is, I guess, the opposite of confidence. So that's believing into a thought again, and it can betray you. So if you leaning into confidence and then you're faced with a situation that you're not confident about, it can kind of destroy that whole thought and kind of send you in a whirlwind of more thoughts concerning the confidence.
What is confidence?
I guess believing in your ability to achieve a task or believing. It's a thought, first off, and it's believing that you can, I guess, achieve something, or you have a, believing that you can achieve something in a, I guess, I'll leave it at that.
All right. Amazing. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Come on up. Do not allow a woman to speak in the church. I know. Do not allow a woman. Before I get to her, did you all think about the biblical question this week?
Yes.
You did. You thought about it? Do you have confidence?
No,
You don't have confidence?
No.
And why do you say no?
because number one, it's a thought. It's just a false impression of yourself. Just like a persona or personality, it goes in the same category. It's an idea that you come up with.
And so what is confidence?
It's a thought.
A thought?
Yep, it's a thought, and it's just built on a false premise that you can control what you're doing in this world.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you raise your hand? You worked on the biblical question this week? Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, I thought about it.
You did. Do you have confidence?
No.
You don't. And why do you say no?
Well, it's not based on, like, what the biblical response should be. I'm just basing it on my life, throughout my whole life. So if I base it on that, no, I have no confidence.
And how do you know you don't have it? What is it about you that says, no, I don't have confidence?
My actions.
Your action?
Yes.
Are you, is this your first time here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's your name?
Adrian,
Welcome.
thank you.
Adrian, how did you find us?
I've been talking to you and listening to you for like 3 years. I told you I was coming this month.
You've
I
been
said, don't go anywhere, don't have assignments outside of the church.
I remember.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Well, that makes me feel so happy.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And how do you know you don't have confidence?
If I base it on my understanding of it and my actions throughout my life that's led me to where I am, I don't have confidence.
Are you working on yourself?
Yes.
And by doing what?
I do the silent prayer. I watch myself. I can't say that I have, and sometimes when you listen into service, you know, you hear, or people who call in on your show, you hear these, I was telling this guy I just met today, you hear these wow moments, like people are like, you know, I did the prayer and wow. Those things don't happen to me. Once in a while, I get shocked into seeing my behavior, and I'm like, oh, man,
Yeah.
you really are that way. And that's it.
What is it like when you get those moments of seeing that you're no good?
Well, now it's a little different because now I understand why I'm no good, and it's okay. It's okay to be no good. But throughout my life, it was just a constant, you're no good. You're garbage. But now I'm like, oh, I'm no good. It's not the same as it was,
Yeah.
but it's, you're no good. But there's no real deep understanding to it.
It's not.
It's like, it's okay, and then I guess the understanding will come later, and I have no idea why I am tearing up. This is embarrassing.
It's
I didn't
embarrassing.
realize how intimate it was in here, so now I feel like I understand what everyone else who's done that has done. And no, I'm not looking for the thrill, so I'm trying to stop
You're not
it
cheering
right
up for the
now.
thrill? You should sit by Mae-Mae.
Is it you? Yeah, so, yeah.
Mae-Mae tear up as soon as she open her mouth.
I do not cry like I used to. I used to, yeah, I know. But I'm happy to be here. I know it feels weird every time someone comes in here, and not that I know, and they're like, hi, Nick, hi, Sean, hi, Hank, I know you, oh, I heard you. It's so small in here, I'm just like, oh my God.
You scared?
No, I'm not scared.
What is making you tear up right now?
I have no idea. I don't know.
You don't know why?
Maybe it's overwhelming
And
that
why
I'm
do
talking to you.
Why do you feel embarrassed and tearing up?
Because I don't know anyone in here.
You don't know everyone?
I don't know anyone, and it's small.
Mimi know everybody. She tear up every
Yeah,
time.
thanks. I'm not tearing anymore. Stop. It's very intimate, and I think I'm just probably so excited. I've met you before when you went to Orlando.
Oh, okay.
My husband
Nice.
went to your meeting, and we came the next day. And no, I do not expect you to remember, but it's just, I'm so, like, when I listen to you guys during the weekday, you're cracking up with you guys, ha, 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 when they're making jokes and they're having the little, and it's just so overwhelming. Maybe. I don't feel overwhelmed, but maybe that's what it is.
Have you forgiven your mother and all that?
Yes.
How did that go for you?
Well, I've said before I had to do it several times because I wasn't sure if I did it correctly. And then I wasn't sure if it was real because sometimes thoughts are memories. And so what plays in my head is, well, you're not supposed to be remembering any of that. But this past holiday, I was down in Florida, and my mom was at the Christmas party, and we just talked regular. There's no, oh, Mom, it's nothing like that. But in person, I don't feel angry with her. I'm like, it's just the way it is.
Nice.
And my husband says, well, did your mom call you since you've been in Florida? And I said, no. I said, but it's okay.
That's right.
I don't feel,
So you're doing fine.
I hope I am. I don't know.
No, you are. Just stop believing the thoughts.
I know, you've told me that.
When they say that, oh, you need to go back and forgive again, you didn't do it right. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's not from God. It's not from you. God knows your heart. He knows that you see that you were angry. You went and forgave. You forgave. That was it. But the
Yeah.
thoughts trying to keep you connected with it. It's just a thought. It's not true.
Well, you told me twice when I've spoken to you, I need to calm down. Like I'm very jumpy. Oh, yeah. But in the last couple of weeks, we had 2 houses, and so I moved to Florida to start establishing residency. So my husband's back in New York. And like even just preparing for the trip to come visit here, to visit all of you, I noticed that in the background, I do get a lot of anxiety. That's what it was. And I understand now that I've always had that my whole life, but I just never really pay attention to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like I didn't realize what it was. And so I could see myself, getting upset, or I'll do it to my husband. And then I'm like, I never realized that I get anxious about things like that I have to do, or I got to catch the plane, I got to do here. So I've paid attention to that, and I've had to admit to myself that I do have anger. It's not as much, but it's there. So every time I admit more and more, oh yeah, you have it. Like, stop. You just maybe the last thing, and I'm going to give you the mic back,
No,
is
you're
that
fine.
when you say, just look at it, right? And I try to picture that, all right, just look at it. Like I'm in the middle of it with my husband, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Stop, right? And then you go off and you feel disgusted with yourself. And then I'm like, don't do that either. It's not you. Just stop. But what does that look like to look at it? Like when you're in the middle of it and it's just risen up in your body, and then you get a glimpse of consciousness and you're like, oh my God, I got to stop. I don't know how to look at it and just feel it. Because as I'm doing that, I'm like, is it me? Is it not me? Is it me? Is it not me? Is it me? I don't know what that means. I really don't.
So you want to know what it means to be in the midst of it and just look at it.
Yes.
Okay. Mimi want to tell you, and then I'll respond.
Hear me.
No, they have them. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What does that mean to be in the midst of it and then just stop and look at it? Just look at it while you're in the midst of it.
I struggled with this myself, and the only thing that I could call it was the chaos. You know, it's just that, you know, understanding outside of yourself, inside of yourself, and this place. But I don't know why you handed it to me. I don't know that I have my finger on the pulse of that yet. You know, I think that when you spoke, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Finally, somebody that I can relate to or that relates to me that can put it in language. Because, yes, you. Just about you saying that, you know, is it me? Is it not me? Just that battle that always is constantly happening. You know, I'm always thinking about something. And so even when I stop to think, it shows me something about the nothingness that exists and how I don't connect to that very much. I have to connect to something. But if anything I can say is that it does reveal what you don't really pay attention to, and it does, working on yourself gets you closer. That's all I can really
Absolutely.
say. I don't know where you're supposed to end up, but it gets you closer.
Yeah.
And when you started to tear up, I said to myself, wow, I relate to that too. Obviously, everyone knows that. But, you know, I think that when we come here, I think for me, when I got here, I really did not like myself. And some of the things that we talk about are such a beautiful expression of love that what I've learned about myself is that when I get something, I feel obligated to give something back. And so some of that emotion comes from me like, here's an offering for what I've received, you know. But again, once you start to pay attention to the things that you do, we're all very unique in why we do what we do, even though we're all the same. And so the devil's not attacking us with what he would attack you with. He's attacking what's very specific to me. But it just feels good to have somebody that I can relate to. So all I can say is that it just allows you to watch yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence?
No, I don't. But when she spoke, again, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to create something that's not there, but when she spoke, I said the same. I was like, damn, I'm like that too. Excuse my language. I'm like that too. Like, there was something that happened in my life where I wanted to be the opposite of confident. I was like, put me down. I'm always putting myself down. It wasn't like I have no confidence because I wanted to be more enlightened. It was just, I didn't want to feel confident anymore. You know, I felt like, I don't know, that person that just like self-mutilates, that tries to hurt themselves all the time. And so if you aspire to confidence, if you want to do the opposite of that, you just look at confidence and do the opposite. So, I don't know, like he was saying, confidence is just a thought, and you can manipulate it in different ways.
Amazing.
So,
The young lady behind you want to respond to when you're in the midst of it. How do you just look at it? Because you have all these thoughts, you have all this pain. How do you just look at that?
I think for me that I don't know, I've always been pretty athletic, and there was this athlete that I listened to, and he was talking about with training, he always reminds himself, like, it can only last so long. So it's like you might as well just invest in what you're doing right now. You know, keep going through it, but it's like it's only going to last so long. The same thing I think with like feelings or hardship is like it doesn't last forever. So it's like you just push through it knowing like it's not always going to be this way is how I look at it.
So when you're having fear about something, you fear, and the pain of fear is there, and the thoughts are racing with you, what do you do in that moment?
I think I just try and turn my brain off and just kind of not think about, oh, it can go this direction, it can go this direction, but just keep doing it and just see what happens.
And do you have confidence?
Sometimes, not all the time, because
And-
I think I try and play God with my own life instead of just having the confidence of like, you know, I know there's already kind of a plan for me, I just can't get in my own way.
And when you have confidence, what is that?
I think it's just kind of having faith in what will happen and what will work out instead of trying to control a situation.
And when you don't have confidence, what is that?
That's when I try and get in my own way and be like, no, I need to do this instead, or this is how I need to take action.
Okay. Is this your first time here?
No, I've been a few times.
You've been here a few times? Did you leave? Were you here recently?
A couple of weeks ago.
And did you leave something? Is that
Oh,
there
yeah, I left. I work for a skincare company, and I left some candles and like body
Well, that's
spray.
for us?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We've been saving that for you for weeks.
Oh no, I dropped it off. I was like, oh, I don't know if you want to give this to like your women's forum or anything, because I couldn't travel back with it. So.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
No problem.
Amazing. Wow, we've been waiting for you to come back.
That's so funny. I guess my message got lost.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. What does it feel like to be just sitting here?
It feels the same as if I was sitting in my seat.
You're not nervous?
I was at first, but I let it go.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Yes.
I was giving that confidence a thought and mulling over it, and I realized that even not having confidence is being free, and we can have a false sense of non-confidence confidence. And that's not, because God, the great I am, he's not divided, he's just one whole. Like if you have a pie and you're not cutting those slices, you're just one whole. And so when we're getting lost, and I was reading this book about this soldier who was from Iraq, and it's called God Is Not There. I'm not trying to plug the book, but and the devil
why
always,
you said the name of it?
I know, well, because it's important. Because the devil will always give you excuses for keeping you in your hell. And when people think of mental health, right, and about PTSD, and they're trying to redefine it as it's moral injury. And I was like thinking, wow, like that is the devil. Like he's in mental health, which are thoughts. And they were also saying about emotions, right? And those things that trigger one of the other. And so it's like feeling. And so it's like,
Do you
wow.
have confidence?
I do have lies. I mean, that's why I'm even talking right now.
Do you have confidence?
I do have confidence, and it's a lie. And that's what's like a false life that I'm living.
So you have confidence, but it's a lie, you say?
Yeah, and that's why
And what is confidence?
Well, confidence is an illusion. It's just like you're building yourself up. So like when we're thinking like, oh, I don't have enough confidence, I need to do this. And then when you're like, well, I don't have confidence. Well, if you even have the confidence to say you don't have confidence.
How do you know you don't have it?
Because if I didn't have confidence, I would have peace. I wouldn't be
If
held
you
by
had
this.
confidence, you
if
would
I
have.
didn't have confidence.
If you didn't have that in you, would have peace.
Yeah.
And how do you know that?
Well, because the Holy Father tells us how that we're weak and we're fearfully and wonderfully made, but I keep rejecting that and I try to run from the fear. And it's like, well, I think last week somebody was talking about crying out to God, and someone had said, well, brought up about Jesus being in the boat and how all the disciples were all freaking out, like, oh, Jesus, save me. And he just comes down and is like, what? Like,
Right.
You've been watching me, you've seen me do all these things, and obviously even if the waves are crashing all around you, why are you freaking out? But then he has to like show them, and that's not like...
Why don't you just stop freaking out?
Exactly.
No, that was a question.
Well, and it made me think, so, we're talking about offerings and the devil. Like
Why don't you just stop freaking out?
Because I'm still serving Satan in this sanctuary of self-pity.
Why?
Because I think that's the only way, and that I'm still trying to reject truth, which is like, dude, just stop. And I just want to keep going, and it's like, that's what the devil does. Like, he'll keep you doing busy body work. Go here, go there, do this.
So why don't you just reject the thoughts and you'll be free?
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm just like, you gotta let everything go.
Why don't you do that?
It's a process that I'm realizing, like, I have to stop identifying with it.
And why don't you do that?
Because I just want to drive, well, I don't, but the devil wants to continue to drive me insane in this like, I already know God, and I need to, like, no, He finished it. The work was done on the cross. I'm not trying to
But
keep
why are you
adding
letting the devil drive you insane?
that thrill seeking, and it's like, dude, that's not
You love the
peace.
thrill?
Totally, I'm just so used to the thrill and thinking that that's what's good, but just because, you know, we call things evil good and good evil, and it's just like, you got to shake that off and allow yourself to just, you know, be with Him and just be still and know and button it up.
What? It- Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right here. You have confidence?
I do.
And what is it?
I have confidence when I go to work in what I do.
And so what is confidence?
Having the ability that I'm going to accomplish the mission that's in front of my face.
Are you nervous now?
I was, but I caught it. And I like what you did. I wrote it down here. I like what you said about when you catch the nervousness, just look at it and let it go. And I think that you don't really need confidence. Maybe I don't need confidence when I go to work, because I think that's overthinking what I'm facing. So I should just do what I'm facing instead of having the confidence, which is a thought.
Okay. This young lady wants to know, when you're thinking and the feelings are there and you're right in the midst of it. She's packing to go on a trip. She's feeling anxious and just right in the middle, but the thoughts are there, the feelings are there. How do you what does that look like to just stop right in the middle and do nothing? Have you ever done that?
I have not until this meeting.
Oh, you did it this morning? Right now?
Yeah.
And what does it look like to stop right in the middle of it?
Seeing it, I feel silly knowing that I went my whole life going through that
Yeah.
or having those thoughts.
Have you forgiven?
Yes.
You forgave your mother and
Yes.
everything? How did that go?
She didn't say anything,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she built an army against me. She didn't like it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to go into the weeds on that. I did forgive my father. We have the best relationship that we've ever had.
Right on.
Yeah. And I haven't been angry in 2 years because of
Right
you.
on. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Is this your first time here?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Toby,
How'd you hear about us?
you came across my YouTube feed
Right
about
on.
3 years ago?
You doing the silent prayer?
No, I'm suffering and dying.
What is preventing you from doing that? Are you doing, oh, go ahead.
I've tried it, but I don't feel any change.
You're not supposed to.
No.
What kind of change are you looking to feel?
I'm at peace. I haven't been angry in a long time.
Right.
You know, I need to work on my nervousness, which is, we're working on that today.
So if you did the silent prayer, it will help you. It will give you more, it will take you to the light, or allow you, because you will slow down and you will start to go even more so into the light, and you will live in the light. You will walk in the light. That's what it means to pray without ceasing, is to always be in the light, to be present. But you're still drifting in your thoughts and don't know it yet. That make sense?
I'll start tonight before bed.
Right on. So, are you ready?
Yes.
So, what do you think about my opening remarks? What did you get from that, if anything?
That I have to let go of everything, the thoughts specifically, because they will keep me in identifying with things that are not me and things that are keeping me from overcoming who I really am.
Right.
But what I got from it was just to let go and to do it now, and it's as simple as just letting go.
And what's preventing you from letting go? Just think about this. A thought is just a thought. It's just like driving down the road and passing another automobile. It's just an automobile, right? That's all a thought is. It's just a thought. And so if you just let it pass, it would be just a thought, a fleeting thought. It wouldn't impact you. It would have no meaning. It wouldn't do anything to you. And why don't you just let it go?
Because I still identify with my thoughts and I try to understand
They can't hear
them.
you over there.
I still identify with my thoughts and I still try to understand where they're coming from and why I'm having them, and that keeps me in a loophole of
Yeah.
being afraid still. And
Why
still
not
having
just
fear.
watch them so the understanding will come? If you just watch them, the understanding will come.
Because I play God and I still try to take control and understand and think of a way that I could physically get myself out of it rather than just sitting through it and letting
Yeah.
it pass by itself.
You like the thrill of your hell?
I do not, but it's hard to say that when I'm still living in it.
And so the young lady wanted to know, when you're in the thrill, when you're like feeling anxious and worried or whatever, how do you just stop and look at it? What does that look like?
It's a lot of emotions and fear, but it's not on you to get yourself out of it. It never was. And I think you're just supposed to sit through it and look at it and realize that it's something else. And until you do that, you'll still be in the place that you are in.
That is so deep. It's not on you to get yourself out of it. It's on you to see it. And so like when you in your thought and you're feeling fear, anxious, anxiety, if you just stop and look at it, this thing that's in you, it'll go nuts. It'll get busy. It'll be all through your mind and body doing crazy stuff, right? But then you'll see it. And the more you see it, you'll start to realize, wow, that's really not me. You start to see that. And in seeing it, it's destroying it. Because when you're feeling that way, it's not you. It's the devil in you, the hell in you. It doesn't want to depart from you. So it is afraid that you may be still and see it. It doesn't want you to stop and see it, right? It is afraid. So that's what God means by come unto me as you are, afraid, overreaction, scared, and lonely. And bring all that to him by doing nothing about it, but just watching it. And it's going to be, you're going to tremble for a while. You're going to be like, look like you're going crazy, right? And you are, but it's not you, it's it. But tremble in that hell, just tremble, be afraid, be whatever, and do nothing.
Right, because the fear is
Oh,
not me.
yeah,
I said, right, because the fear is not me. It's
Yeah.
just, for the last 2 weeks, what I have noticed is the amazing amount of illusion that can happen when you're doing that. Because even last night, I was trying to do the silent prayer, and then sometimes I doze out and then I get conscious again. Like, when I say conscious, I don't mean the conscious. I mean, like, I'm falling asleep and I wake back up.
oh, okay.
And then, like, in that split second, it'd be like last night it was like a firecracker went off. And I thought to myself, wow, it's amazing how he can make even the sound that's not there. So if that's what you mean by you're starting to see it, then yay.
Yeah,
Because, and it's happened twice. I can't remember what the other thing was, but I remember going, that didn't even just happen, and it just felt like it just happened, but,
Yep.
but it didn't happen. It was like a physical reaction. But where I get confused at is the feelings when it's happening. And it's because I've had them all my life.
yes,
Because
Yeah.
I just did it. And one more thing, I think it was last week, you had a lady that called you and she was talking about some things that had happened to her physically and how she couldn't forget it or how it was a process. But I know it's true what you say, because the first time I called you, you put me in my place about my daughter. It was so funny.
Amazing.
Yeah, you did. And at first I was like, excuse me? And then, but I didn't say that to you. I said it in my head. But you said the things that happen in your body just happen in your body. And if you really want to, you could just let that go. So I just want to say, if she happens to be here today, it really is true. Like, so that's what I would say to myself. That happened in my body, and I'm right here, right now.
Yeah.
That's not happening to me, because that's a miserable place to be in. Anyone who's ever gone through that, you don't want to be there. So the hope of it happened in the body, not in whatever. It's you really can lay that down, that part down. So I get that and I get that, but I don't get all the other stuff in between. And that's what's confusing to me.
But just know you don't see the other stuff. Don't make up something.
Right.
Just know you don't understand it, and it will come.
Right.
Because the devil, he will fill in the blanks for you, and it'll be wrong.
Yeah.
So that's what, because the intellect hate God, it is the enemy of God. And so it will fill in the blanks if you're not careful. If you don't know, it's enough to know I don't understand that.
I hear your voice when that happens now.
Yeah.
I understand it up here. But right now, that's all I have.
That's right.
To kind of bring me back and forth. And, yeah, and that's it.
One thing I just want to tell you, and they would take here, girl, she had her hand. The feeling that you're having in the body, that pain or fear or whatever it may be, just know it's in the body. It's not in you. And yes, you do feel the pain in the body, but it's not you. And the pain confirms the thoughts, and the thoughts are confirming the pain, right? And it's just all hell in the body, but it's not in you. It's in the body, but it's not in you. And you do feel it, but it's not you. Even if you have to say to yourself when that is happening, that's not me. Look at there. Yeah. What's that, right? You're not identified with it. Death is about dying from the identities of all these things, all of our life. We have called ourselves, and others have called us, and we believe that that's what we were. Those all have been false identities. None of them. And if someone had told you that when you were a little girl, you'd be right with Jesus right now. But you didn't know, and nobody said, you know what, don't be angry, that's not you. Don't be angry, don't call yourself that. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Do not call yourself these things. They are not you. They're not you. So when that pain is there, just know, wow, I feel this pain in my body. But it's the devil having a hissy fit, because it doesn't want you to have a quiet moment to see that it's not you. It doesn't want you to see that, because seeing it, he got to go. He have to depart from you. And he'll get weaker and weaker. The more you see, the weaker he got. And the more you see, the clearer your mind become. And you'll get to a point where you never will even think about the past or the future. It never existed anyway, but it'll be clear, because there will be nothing there to think about. You wouldn't even think about yesterday with your clear mind, because that happened then is not happening now. All we have is now. There's nothing else but now. What?
I didn't say anything.
You
I
all
was listening.
frowning.
Was I? I didn't
No.
even know I was frowning.
You had a question, you had your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, because when you pay attention to yourself this particular week, I know the week before I had wrapped my mind around that it wasn't me, and I felt great about that. Shouldn't have, whatever. But I noticed this week, is there a difference between doing nothing and doing nothing? Because I feel like I involved, or I was enticed by my vices, those things that make me feel good, whether it's scrolling on Instagram or whatever it is, from
Right.
the high to the low, the big or the small.
Right.
But I feel like my vices were enticing, like, more intensely, and I feel like this whole week I just did nothing. But like this week, do nothing. Like, just when I wasn't at work, I just was doing nothing, like scrolling on Instagram. I know that's something, but again, it's just, it felt to me like there's a difference between doing nothing and doing nothing. Is there?
When I say do nothing, I mean do nothing about the thoughts that you have, do nothing about the feelings that you get. Let's say you're on the internet, your wife had pulled you on the internet.
Yeah.
Just notice that, but do nothing about it. Notice
So get off of the internet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Notice yourself on the internet instead of being caught up into it. Don't go unconscious while on the internet.
Because that's what happened. It felt like I was like 4 days out before I realized I am literally not even paying attention to anything that I'm doing. Like, I'm literally, and it took me almost 4 days to be like, whoa, that was a lot. That I didn't even notice myself for like almost 4 days.
Right, and that's beautiful because at least you notice it at some point. Most people never notice that they're unconscious. At least you notice it, and the moment you did, you came back to reality. You came back to oneness.
But that's when I start to feel guilty, like, oh my God, I let my vices do that to me for 4 days, and I've just been like, but there is a time when you said your vices, like, when the devil tells you to call your friend, don't do it. But so I'm like, God, I wasn't strong enough to not do it.
Right, and it's enough to see that, but don't have any guilt. That's not you feeling guilty. You were seduced to do it, and then once you did it, you were told, oh, you're not doing it now. It's not working. You're like 4 days uncomfortable. It is. And he's making you feel guilty because he still wants you to identify with him. The guilt was not you.
Okay.
That was him too.
Okay.
That was the evil in the imagination motion. It's beautiful the way 4 days out, on the 5th day you came back.
Right.
So that was fine.
Okay.
Just keep, if you fall down 100,000 times a minute, get up.
Okay.
If you fall down again, get up. Don't judge it. Don't judge it.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
And so when you do, if you do, eventually your mind gonna be so clear that the Spirit of the Father will control your body. Right now, the devil is controlling your body. When you believe in thoughts, the devil controls your body too. He makes you do the things you don't want to do. As he is disappearing, the devil will, then God will control your body as well.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does.
So don't judge it. You are not guilty.
The only other question I have is then how do you get, I know it's not me and it won't be me in my power, but how do you get strong enough to not indulge in the vices?
When you see it, the light of God is taking control of your body again, and eventually you won't. You just, without even trying not to do it, without even trying not to do it, it just won't be in your mind. If it's not in your mind, you can't do it.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
When you call out to God, are you always calling on the devil? Because sometimes I just want a friend to just be like, God, this is hard. Am I calling on somebody but other than him?
You call on your daddy, the devil. Because the you that's suffering is not you. The identity with the suffering is not you. And the you that's crying out to God is not you. It's that thing crying out, making you think it's you.
Okay.
Because you've been taught to cry out to God. But it's all fake. That's not even you crying out to God. God said to be still and know him. You don't need to be crying out to him because the real you are free. You are free.
So he naturally made us this way, the non-calling out to God. He made us still. Naturally, we are meant to be still?
Yes.
Okay.
You are meant to let life happen. You're not meant to make life happen. When you try to make a relationship or anything happen, you're playing God.
Okay.
And that's what the problem is.
Okay.
He provide life when you let go. When you let go, life will happen by itself. It's so amazing that it will happen by itself. It's already laid out. It's just that you keep believing the devil, thinking that you gotta make something happen. Then you cry out to God, and God like, what the? That's not even you crying out to God. That's Satan crying out to God, making you cry out to God to make you think that you are crying out to God. It's not even you. There's nothing to cry out to God about. The real you don't have one reason to cry out to God.
Is there a possibility that you know that you know that you know that you want something and you don't get it for whatever reason? You can't get it. Don't you know yourself enough to know that you want it?
What do you mean by that?
So if I wanted to pursue some career path,
Right.
and for some reason I just can't get it done. I can't do what's necessary to get myself there. But I know that that's what I want.
Right. If it's a struggle to do it, let it go.
Okay.
It will have, if it's meant to be, it will happen. That don't put a struggle in at all. The world have taught us to do that. That's of the devil. That's evil. You don't have to struggle with anything. I know you want to be a lawyer. If it was really meant to be, you just be a lawyer. You get up and go law class. You get up and go lawyer, do a little lawyer stuff. And you wouldn't even think about it. I'm telling you, because you would see so clearly, there would be no struggle.
So if there is a struggle, then that's not where I'm meant to be?
Right.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I don't really like that.
Well, like it, because once you like it, he has a better place for you. It is greater than what you think you want. We literally don't know what we want. Because if you struggle to become a lawyer and you become the best lawyer on this side of heaven, right, you're still going to be miserable because you got what you think you wanted. You didn't let life happen.
Oh, here we go back to the nothing then. Because I don't know what else, okay.
Because you don't know what else what.
I don't know what else to be other than what I want to be.
How about being nothing?
This is what I said. Here we go back with the nothing again.
Because being a lawyer ain't gonna make you something. You still won't be nothing.
I understand that.
And look at all these people with these degrees, and they're doctors and lawyers and psychiatrists, and they're nothing, but they think they're something, and they're miserable. Because they're still nothing.
But practicing law isn't easy. Like, you have to go through this whole series of things that are very challenging. And it doesn't even make you a better lawyer.
Right. Picking cotton is a challenge too. But it doesn't make me the cotton field.
Okay.
It is, most jobs, whatever, if you become good at your job in a physical sense, it's not easy becoming good at your job, no matter what the job is.
Right.
So, but you still gonna be nothing. Don't want to be a lawyer for a sense of identity. If you want to do it, just do it because you just want to be a lawyer. And that's not who I am, a lawyer, it's what I do. Right. I just want to do a lawyering thing, but don't make it so personal.
Right.
Don't make it feel like, I really want this. Why can't I get it? You're making it too personal.
Okay.
'Cause it's just a job, that's all it is.
How did you know I was thinking all of that?
Because all of us think the same thing with the devil's mind. Every human being thinks the same thing. There's no new thinking.
Got it.
Really. And as you're waking up, and your mind becomes, you're going to understand everybody around you.
Right.
It's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
So don't want it so badly. Let it go.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna add
How are you doing?
Well.
Okay.
I was going to add to what she was saying, because you had said last week, you said, when you cry out to God, you cry out to Satan.
Right.
And at first when I heard that, I was like, I totally disagree. Like, I couldn't comprehend what you meant by that. I'm like, how is that the case? And then just thinking about it and her saying it right now, she's saying sometimes could you cry out because you just want a friend? But God has always been there. He's never left. So
Right.
it's if he could say something, even though he does, but if he could say something, he'd say, I'm here, I've been here. But we think he's not here, right? So we cry out thinking he hasn't been there, but he's been there through the whole process. So it's just understanding that he's been with us and he's never left.
But it's like what the young man said last Sunday. Who is the person that's crying out to God? You know, like, that's not her crying out to God. That's the fake her, and not her that crying out to God. The real her have no reason to cry out to God. Because you're right, you're already with God, and God is with you. It's just that you have disassociated yourself with God by taking on a false identity to think that it's something else.
To add to it is that it's also like almost a cop-out in a way, because it's like we want to feel as if crying out is going to make us feel better for the idea that we actually really want it.
It makes us say, oh, we really believe in God. We really want, Lord, I really want this. Help me, Jesus.
Right.
It's just a thrill.
Right, but we want the thrill, but then we feel guilty about wanting the thrill, so we cry out to God to feel better about ourselves.
Absolutely.
I think I just didn't want to be alone in that moment.
That had somebody do. You didn't want to be alone in what moment?
In that moment when I called out to him, like I can't call out to Jesse. You know, I know that you're not going to appear in my living room.
I might. Don't be so sure.
No. I'm just saying, like, who's the one person or thing or entity that you can access when you're feeling alone?
But how can you cry out when there's no you?
Yeah, see, again, it just takes me a moment to wrap my mind around that part.
Yes. There is no you to cry out. Isn't that amazing? So if he made it so there is no you to cry out, you know it must be the devil telling you to cry out. Because the devil wants you to hold on to this idea now. I cried out to God.
But who is sitting in this chair then?
Nobody.
See, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
literally, then why have a chair?
To keep you from standing.
Okay.
I see your body. I hear a voice. I know you have thoughts and pains, good and bad, but that's not you. You are not your body. You live in that body. Like we're in this building, but we're not the building, right? You're in a body, but you're not the body. Another false identity to believe that you're your body. You're not your body. So stop identifying with the body.
I'm probably that one student that it just takes forever for me to wrap my mind around this one. I'm not good at geometry, if this is geometry.
Look around the room. You're not the only student. We've all been there. It's part of the overcoming. It's part of dying. And in order to live, you must die. And what you're dying from is the false identities. You die from all those identities that we picked up at childhood. And nobody never told us that that's not who we were. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So you're dying.
Okay.
And the moment you realize, I'm not my body, that's weird, you'll die from that idea, you'll be free.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been stuck on, is the like, this is an actual something, you know? And that's what makes me something, is that this is something.
Right. But that's nothing. That's a piece of clay, that's it, that you live in.
Okay.
And they built that body, God built the body the same way they built this building. We're not the building. So it's just another false identity.
Okay. I understand that a little bit.
When those women be shouting, my body, my choice. I'm like, you fool. It's not your body and not your choice. Amazing, huh?
Yeah. Amazing.
That makes sense?
Yes, amazing.
Let me take him, Doug first, and then I come to you, and I'm gonna come around the room. Do you have confidence?
I thought about this all week, and I've heard all my thoughts. People have said all my thoughts.
See there? Everybody thinking the same thing. Nothing new. The devil have no new tricks. They're all the same. And that's why when we're of the mind, of the thoughts, we all think alike. And we all react alike, we all feel alike, it's nothing new. But go ahead, Doug.
So I'm not totally sure how to answer it. On one hand, I want to answer it like some of the people I've heard, but I think what I'm going to do is just go back to what I know, what I learned that confidence is, and answer it that way.
Okay.
Because I really don't know how to answer it.
But do you have it?
I would say yes, I have it.
You have confidence.
Uh-huh.
And what is it?
Moving forward on something even though you don't know the outcome, and not whether you're scared, whether you're whatever you have going through you, whatever thoughts are there, you still do it.
Why you laugh? How come the staff is laughing at you?
The staff isn't laughing at me. Fire them all. Oh.
But that's what confidence is?
That's what I've learned that it is.
Right. And so is that what it is?
I'm about to find out. I don't know. That's why I said I don't know how to answer this question.
What did you think about my opening remarks, if you remember any of them by now?
I think the thing that stood out to me was you mentioned something like thoughts come to you and they sometimes startle you, you know, they come to you. And I've seen a lot of my thoughts in the last few weeks that come from like when I was young and something I did wrong or didn't handle something right, and it's just like a total shock.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever been shocked by thoughts? You go, ooh.
yeah.
What the? Yeah.
And I've made myself just sit there and just kind of take it.
The more, when those shocks come like that, if you stop and just take it anyway, the shocks will eventually disappear too. You'll become more aware of the thoughts and they'll be lightweight. He will give you the same thoughts again because Satan has nothing new. He has no new thoughts to give you. And he'll give you back the same thoughts again, but you won't be shocked because you'll be aware. Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
Anything else?
Losing confidence, that's all I got.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You had your hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to answer the question.
Absolutely. What, you have confidence?
Yes.
And what is the man who thinks a dog give love? And what is confidence?
So, well, I have two confidences.
You do?
Yeah.
And what are they?
There's a natural confidence and there's a manufactured confidence. And I've been thinking about it like, I think the manufactured confidence comes from when we get fear or we get whatever, so then we want to add confidence to try to like fight back the fear. But in all actuality, if we just subtract the, or overcome the fear, then we go back to our natural state, which is like love, which is perfect love casts out all fear. And we just have like a natural confidence, which we all had when we were children and kids. And so it's like a natural state that we're really supposed to be in. So it's not really confidence, like the manufactured one that we do,
Right.
but it's like a natural confidence that, yeah, from God.
Oh, okay. And so when you say you have two, you mean you go from one to the other?
Well, I'm trying to die from the manufactured one.
Right on.
But I've always had the natural one, but sometimes I just add a little bit of the HGH one to the manufactured one as well. Okay. That's it.
Okay. Right here, and then Nick, and then here and here. Yes.
So
I saw your hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what you were talking about. Is it Mimi? Yeah. Okay, Mimi. So
He's like, is it Mimi? Go ahead.
when you feel like you need to call out to God, like I've been there before, and
You called out to God?
I didn't. I
Oh,
like
you did
thought
not?
about how it would be like if I did. I did
Oh,
it in my
okay.
head basically.
Nice.
And I feel like the most sincere calling out to God would just be like like not an apology, but like a confession to all the false thoughts that I believed, and it would be like the most true sense of me, like the real you, if there was one, calling out to God. But then I think of what would presence actually do. And then I think presence wouldn't feel the need to call out to God at all. It would
Absolutely.
just see it.
You would be with God already, so there would be no need to be calling out to him when you're present.
Right. And so, yeah, it can be so difficult to start to realize there's been so many like false beliefs that you've believed, even just false thoughts. And that's the whole silent prayer. And for me, that's been so helpful, is just seeing like every thought is false. Like even the thought of here I am giving, like dropping wisdom right now. Like it just is what it is, basically.
If you think you're dropping wisdom, then you're not.
Right.
It's just a thought. You're right about that. You're absolutely right.
If I identified with that.
Absolutely.
And then carried that around like a title.
Yes. There is no thinking in life. When you're free, you stop thinking, except practical thoughts. Is this your first time here?
It is, yeah.
Oh, what's your name?
Dan.
Ben?
Dan.
Dan.
Daniel.
Welcome, Dan.
Yeah.
And how did you find us?
YouTube Shorts.
Right on. Oh,
Get a job.
nice.
Get a job is the best.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, Nick. I saw your hand earlier.
I don't remember for that.
When I was doing the opening, you don't remember?
I don't remember that.
Why you had the mic? Do you have confidence?
No. I've tried my whole life. You know, it's funny to hear Doug say that confidence means to be okay with whatever, even if you have fear, to just do it anyways. Because growing up, I had a different understanding of confidence. Although people may have described it like that, when you really pay attention, everyone around me growing up, confidence meant to just feel good, to feel tough, to feel strong. And I tried doing that my whole life. I tried getting that my whole life, and all I did was I just got good at lying. I got good at posing. I got good at.
Yeah.
Then I got a little older, and I found out people see through that anyways. So that was a trip. And I was like, dang.
What a mess.
Yeah. And then I realized that there have been times though, when I look back, that I was confident, but I didn't even know it. I didn't even realize I didn't know it. I was just being me. Probably people thought, and people even called me confident, but it had nothing to do with me thinking about being confident or trying to be it.
Amazing. And so what is confidence?
Oh yeah, so confidence, I think, I heard someone say this the other day, and I was like, whatever. Because they said, confidence, it comes from confide, and it comes from confiding in God. And I was like, pfft. But then I realized that, actually, that I don't know if that person meant it that way, but it is kind of that when you're in the moment, when you're present, you're not trying to be confident, you're not trying to be anything. You just are.
What does it mean to confide in God?
That's why, I don't know. I think it just, I don't know, but in context to this question and confidence, I think I kind of understood what that person meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I want to take here for, I saw it here a long time ago, and then I got to get to Sean, and I got to get here. Yes, sir. Confident? Is it about the confident?
Actually, I wanted to respond when she was commenting about being on Instagram for 4 days and then coming back to Earth. I think I can relate to that, so I'll speak for myself. not specifically with Instagram, but with anything in general, going unconscious and then coming back to consciousness. Even when you're going back into consciousness, it seems like the devil is still trying. Well, he does everything in his power to bring you back, no matter what.
Absolutely.
If you're going unconscious, he makes you go unconscious, so you're gone. And then you become a zombie. And then when you come back, he makes you feel guilty for becoming a zombie. And then now you feel guilty for becoming a zombie.
Yeah.
And then you gotta realize, oh my God, I'm such a bad person. Well, I was on Instagram for 4 days or whatever.
Right.
I was packing I heard you too when you were talking about packing, like, the devil is doing everything in his power to make you feel some sort of pain,
Yes.
no matter what. And then I feel like that is, like when doing the silent prayer for looking to feel some sort of a thrill, that's more of the devil trying to get a feeling and a feeling and a feeling and a feeling, because the devil thrives in emotions. Just to give a little story about, kind of what my experience is, and something I did with my boy yesterday. We did like a military boot camp thing, and great experience. I can tell you more about it later. But throughout that, we would have to like carry stuff up hills, get in an ice bath. It was the worst pain I've ever put my body through. But what I learned through that is it was all psychological. Everything that I went through was all psychological. I learned the most when it comes to sitting in cold water or watching him suffer carrying something. The devil was just screwing with my head every step of the way.
Yeah.
And that's how life is. Every time you get up, does my shirt match my pants? Do I look good if I go out in public? Or if I'm sitting on stage, what are people thinking about me? Like, the devil is just doing everything in his power to bring you there. And my biggest learning lesson from yesterday's experience is this physical body that I'm in is truly just a vessel.
Yeah.
And there's a spirit within that is just growing and growing and growing, but the devil is overpowering my body by making me feel pains and aches and emotions and just going into these wicked dimensions that have nothing to do with God. God is just right here, right now, and that's who God is. And that's why when you say there is no you, that's because we want to think that I feel this and I want that. And
Absolutely.
I want this. And it's BS. Like, God doesn't want any of that from you.
That's amazing, man. I was thinking when you were saying that, I was lifting weight the other day, and right away when I got ready to lift the weight, I automatically started, and then I realized the devil told me this was going to be heavy. And I calmed down, let the lightweight was so light I had to put another one on. But it was just in my mind that it was going to be heavy, and I started straining as though it was heavy. And it wasn't even heavy. And I looked around the gym, everybody's straining. And I realized the devil telling everybody this is heavy. But if you relax and do the workout, it's so much easier. But you automatically put a frown on your face because it just automatically think it's going to be heavy. And that is the devil.
That's just because you're jacked. That's
Who?
the way you lift.
That's right. 225. How much Nick doing now? Where's Nick? Right here with the hat. And then Sean. How much you pushing down, Nick? That means 0. He said, don't worry about it. Yes, sir.
So I really like what Mae-Mae and even Randy was just saying about how the more you peel this onion, the layers back, it eventually just goes back to nothingness. At some point, we're supposed to get to nothingness. And that's really hard. That's the dying process. And so, like, even throughout the service today, I'm sitting up there watching her, and I would be fine with going up there, but I'm suffering watching her sit up there this long. Like, my mind is racing, and it's like, what is she thinking about? When is he gonna let her down? Is she okay up there?
Really?
And I'm doing more suffering in my mind with that than actually if I was up there.
Amazing.
So just watching
It's
yourself.
all in the mind.
You gotta watch yourself.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, what's her name? What's your name? What's your name? Amazing. That's right. That's funny, man. How you feeling?
Fine.
You fine? Are you nervous?
No.
No more, huh?
No.
Nice. You have confidence?
I really can't answer it yes or no. If I say yes, I'd be lying, and if I say no, I'd be lying. So I don't really have an answer, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
That's what I've been thinking about all week. And I was going to say before about crying out to God, you know, usually when you do that, you're saying like, help me now. And if I'm thinking to myself, could there ever be a more like obvious instance of trying to play God than trying to tell God what to do? Like, help me now. Like you're telling God what to do. There couldn't be a more obvious like instance of playing God than trying to tell him what to do.
Absolutely.
You're trying to tell him what to do and when to do it. It's like he's gonna.
That is such a good point, because God will help you. He's already helped you. It was like that story about the boat. The disciples, they're like, oh, we believe in you, Jesus. We love you. You're the man, right on. You it. And as soon as he went to sleep, took a nap, and the water started shaking, they cried out to Jesus. And he was like, well, what's wrong? All you need to do is be still and tell this water to be still. You'll be fine. And so all you need to do is watch those thoughts and you'll be fine. Really, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. There's nothing to be crying out for. Nothing to cry out for. Amazing, right? Okay, 2 quick, and then we're done. You have confidence?
I don't think so.
And why not?
Just by the way I answered that question. You know, to be honest, I think I'm pretty new to you just within the last year or so. I've become a fan online.
What's your name?
David.
Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Like the young lady here, I also am having a hard time kind of wrapping my mind around the whole, you know, the thoughts are from the devil.
Right.
You know, so to speak. I'm wondering, does God give us thoughts too? I don't know, you know, according to this way of thinking about it.
He give you practical thoughts. Like if you're learning to build a house, he'll show you how to build a house. That comes from him as well. Mm-hmm. But you don't live by that. As soon as you do through building a house, you don't need to think about the house anymore. So he give you practical thoughts.
And I like the idea of being totally, you know, freed from, you know, I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, and it's true.
And it's true.
And don't try to wrap your mind around it. You need to overcome the mind, because the mind is the enemy of God. Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to see. You want understanding. You don't want to wrap your mind around it. Wrap your mind, and that's what you've been doing all your life anyway.
Right.
And that's why you had the problems you have. So-called problems. You want to be able to see. I once was blind, but now I see.
Right.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Not yet. Not yet.
And you've been listening for 3 years?
No, about a year.
Oh.
About a year, yeah.
And why aren't you doing the silent, just from my understanding?
I probably don't, I'm not really familiar with the silent prayer. I mean, I've heard you talk about it. I've heard you know, talk about it.
It's on the YouTube channel, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Give it a try.
Okay.
Any question about anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far.
Right on. Frankie, last person. Do you have confidence?
I haven't thought about it, but only when
You haven't thought about all this? This is how we've been talking about it?
Only when my ego is excited. Other than that, I do not.
You do not have confidence?
No.
And what is confidence?
Pride.
What?
Pride in oneself, their ego, their excitement, thinking that they're something, they're big. You know, that's what that is.
That's what confidence is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Because, oh yeah, I did see your hand. Raymond, 2 quick, fast ones, we got to end. Yes, sir.
About the biblical question?
Do you have confidence?
I guess that depends. Do you mean practical confidence or spiritual confidence?
Do you have confidence?
Spiritual confidence, yes. Practical confidence, no.
And what is spiritual confidence?
Confidence is another word for lack of fear, full trust, you know, lack of fear of things going wrong, you know, or somebody betraying you. That's what confidence is, you know. Like if you have confidence in yourself, you have no fear that you're going to mess up in something. If you do something, you don't have fear, or you're not afraid.
And that was, you call that spiritual confidence?
Spiritual, and then practical confidence. I guess, let me ask you this. Would you trust, or would you be confident in leaving your car parked in an alley in certain parts of town? Would you have
No.
confidence in doing that?
Right.
Yeah, so that's a practical confidence. So,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So that's why I asked which type of confidence, you know.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, Raymond.
To starve, I do not have confidence.
And what is it?
Confidence is an ego trip, and I have enough trouble in my life without that.
And so you're not on an ego trip?
I pray that I'm not on an ego trip.
Are you on an ego trip?
No.
Amazing. No, I'll mess with you. Listen, confidence is the Spirit of God. And as you're overcoming the fears and the doubts and the worries, you will, a clear mind will be made for you, and you wouldn't even think of the word confidence because you'd be one with the Father. And there'll be nothing else but that. It's the Spirit of God. Everything else is fake. It's the Spirit of God. And so I want to encourage you all to work on yourself. How many people I asked someone the other day, because I never hear them say they're working on themselves. So I asked them, I said, are you working on, do you work on, you don't look like you work on yourself. And I asked, are you working on yourself? Yeah. I'm like, well, how are you working on yourself? I was ready for some deep stuff. And they're like, well, when I worry about my work, when I work too much or don't work enough, I'm like, Lord. I'm like, this conversation is over. I didn't pursue it anymore. But confidence is the Spirit of God. And here's what, yes, James? Oh, here's what I want you to do. I mean, do what you want. Suffer and die. Work on yourself. Work on yourself. And working on yourself simply means watching the not self. Watching the not you. That's all you need to do. And do your physical stuff. Go to work, make your dinner, whatever, right? But all you got to do, and believe me, it's a lot of work watching yourself. I told myself one other day, when you walk through the door for one day, remember, be real aware of yourself walking through the door. It didn't last a minute. Watching yourself is a job. All you got to do is to watch the not you. Watch the shyness. Watch the fear. Watch the loneliness. Watch the neediness. Watch the jealousy. Watch the worries. Watch the so-called bravery. Watch the feel-good feeling. Just watch them, and the work is done for you. That's all is required, for you to watch. And the Father will, you already saved. I hate using that word because I don't want to throw you off. The real you is fine. And there are layers and layers. And the Bible said, I die daily. Somebody said that. You want to die daily by overcoming layers and layers of the false self. Really. Overcoming layers and layers of the false self. So in closing, if you catch yourself in that mess, just still watch it anyway. And you'll be afraid, you'll feel fear, you'll feel everything. But tremble and watch it. And in the light that's shining on the devil, deny you, and he will save you from it. Meaning that you will stop identifying with that. And next time you pat, it will be no problem. Yes.
I see glimpses of that, right?
Right.
But I also feel like you're never, even like you and I, in our quest to understand the understanding of the understanding, because that's what we do, right? You're never going to hear the words that you think you're longing to hear from Jesse, because in reality, I don't really think, I think we just have words on a level just to kind of understand something or to give it a picture or a face.
Words are very limited.
Yeah, you don't have the words.
Right. There are no words to express what we're talking about.
You don't. And the reason that you'll say it, I think, the way you say it over and over again, It's like the layers that he's talking about. It's like every time he says it the same exact way, you get a little frustrated, you think you do. Like, I don't understand, you said that already. But has anyone noticed that sometimes after you've heard him say it the same way, the 100th time, all of a sudden a light bulb goes on and you're like, oh.
Yes.
But it's like this much, but you get it?
Yes.
And then you kind of, well, some of us, like me, then you forget it, and then you get it, and then you forget. It's like a yo-yo.
Yes.
But there's never going to be a word to explain God.
That's why you let words go by, because the words cannot explain God.
But that's an addiction too, because that's all we've ever known, words.
Right, just words. We're addicted to words. And that's why the enemy used words against you in your mind and body, and he used words against you inside of others.
And I
They
think
attack
that's-
you with words.
And I think that's why you say there is no real, I had a glimpse of that when you said that too, once, no twice, again with the twice. I started to see myself like, oh God, because I went through all the church. I was the church. And for some reason, I was able to see, why am I screaming out? What's the point in screaming out? And it wasn't because I was frustrated. I've done that before. What's the point in screaming out? He doesn't hear me. But it wasn't because of that. It was like, what's the point? Because if he already knows,
Yes,
then he already knows. So what am I screaming out to?
absolutely.
They teach you that in church.
We've been trained to scream out to God, to dance and hoop and holler to God. We've been trained that way. And so we're just trained. Last word, man. Last word. Nobody else raise your hand. I'm in this meeting like a white man today.
What she was just saying, that's the silent prayer right there. Like, exactly. All these words, that's why
Yes.
it's silent. Like, that just popped in my head. So.
God revealed to you he's not worthy. And you're right. Words, the words I'm using is just to point you back to where the truth is inside of you. But words cannot explain God. Words cannot explain real life. Like let go, right? Yeah. What does that mean? What does that really mean, right? So this week, I want for the assignment, I want you to notice the mind repeats itself all the time, and that it's all about you. Just for 1 week, notice that. Next week, I want to hear some testimonies about that, some talk about that. But watch your mind and see that it's all about you. And then when you see that it's all about you, it's going to tell you that it's not about you, but it is about you. So, and we have a brand new biblical question, and that is, Hake.
Why are you afraid of negotiating?
Why are you afraid of negotiating? Isn't that a good one?
That's a great one.
I see busy minds right now. Busy mind. And I'll tell you next week why I asked that question. I'll tell you next week. Last word.
Thank you.
Amazing. And so that's a biblical question. This week, the Women's Forum. It's the third Thursday night, I think, right? Already. What the? And it's going to be a doozy because we're getting tough this year. We're not playing around. So at 7 p.m. every third Thursday night for the ladies only at 7 o'clock. And we'll reach a super chat tomorrow. Thank you for your support, for your donation, tithes, and all that. But work on yourself, folks. Stay with you. And you're going to have an amazing life. And a lot of this crazy stuff you've been doing will stop. You'll be able to save money, you'll save time and everything. It will change naturally. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you all. We had church today. I appreciate it. You can give that mic to...